While I'm sharing my presentation, I will just briefly say that there are two of us who will be speaking about opportunities in Hungary today. I will be the first, then a colleague of mine will follow with a very specific topic. My presentation will focus on a general introduction of Hungary and the services that Euraccess Hungary can offer to those who are interested in learning more about the opportunities and possibly also relocating, moving to the country. And in this, I am supposing that our viewers are not very familiar with the country, so I will be mostly speaking about basic features. So as that, I will be starting with a brief overview of the higher education and research scene in Hungary. You see, Hungary as a country is circled on this blue map on the slide. We are indeed located in the center of Europe. Hungary is not a very large country, but we have a quite rich, I believe, education research scene compared to the size of and population of the country. As you see on the slide as well, the country has more than 20 large universities or colleges and 36 small ones, which are typically private and typically focus on a very specific education area. And all of these have some kind of education programs. Obviously, the large ones have a more diverse one with several faculties and a quite rich variety of teaching and degree programs. Going on from getting a degree or getting a first degree, if you are interested in a specifically research career, then you should know that basic research is primarily performed by a network of research institutes called the Hungary Research Network, which has 18 quite large research institutes divided according to research areas, basically. And these 18 research institutes are complemented by more than 100 research groups. These are smaller groups of research areas, and they are typically hosted by specific public institutions, such as the universities that I mentioned before, but they could also be museums, for example, or any other research institutes. And altogether, these will be covering, I believe, most of the research disciplines that you can think of. In addition to basic research, of course, the Hungary network will also be focusing to some degree on applied research as well, but their main focus is indeed the basic research level. In addition to that, there is a smaller number of institutes which focus specifically on applied research. And first one to mention is Bajzoltán Research Center, which is the institution that I work for. But in addition, there are also other ones, the ones that I listed here, KTI, EMI, and Salazone, which focus on very specific areas. KTI is focusing on buildings. KTI is focusing on transportation. EMI is focusing on building and building-related research. And Salazone, the last one in the list, they are focusing on automated driving and automotive industry. Also very useful to know that the government agency responsible for this area is called the National Research Development and Innovation Office. And I put here their web address because they have the full and most up-to-date list on funding opportunities open for various research activities in Hungary without specification of eligibility. I mean, most of them are available for Hungarian researchers, but not only, and also international scale collaboration opportunities and scholarships may be included. So first of all, for knowing more about the higher education research system, but also to know more about the funding opportunities available, I would suggest to check out this website. In addition to the one that I will be speaking about as next step, which will be the Hungarian Euraccess portal. At the beginning of the presentation, we have heard about Euraccess in general, but you should also know that each country which is part of the network has a lot of country-specific information available on their website, and Hungary is no exception to this. Now, as you see at the bottom of the slides, the Euraccess portal has different user groups, target groups. Researchers are one of the most important and the largest target groups. And it is also good to know that while services are free and information is available for free, but personalized services that are tailor-made to the profile of the user are available upon registration. Why? Because we need to know our users and we need to know who they are to tailor the information that we display to their interests, to their fields of specialization, field of research, and so on and so forth. But in general, what we can say that a lot of information is available related to jobs and funding, as we have heard, partnering opportunities, information assistance, and I will be speaking about this in more detail, and also about other possible connections worldwide, not just in Europe, which is hosted by the Euraccess worldwide part of the general Euraccess portal. Now, moving on to the Hungarian information again. As for practical information, you will need to check out Euraccess Hungary and go to essential information, which is also displayed here in the form of a screenshot. On this page, there are three main sections, and I just briefly give you an insight into the specific areas which are described in each section. Living in Hungary is the first one. Here you will find more about entry conditions, health insurance, medical care, accommodation, all those practical issues which are a priority when someone arrives for a longer period of time to Hungary, to live there, to live here. Then work-related specifics such as taxation and salaries, work permit, recognition of diplomas, pension, and unemployment conditions are listed in the Working in Hungary section. And for those thinking of those who are leaving the country, we also describe departure formalities, jobs, and scholarships abroad, or together with links to other country Euraccess portals within Europe. This is not a full and exhaustive list, and we keep updating the web page regularly. So this list that I told you is meant as a kind of first insight into what Euraccess Hungary can offer in terms of practical information for you. We have a specific portal section for researchers arriving from Ukraine, and you can find it by going to the main page and clicking on the Ukrainian flag on the right, which I also circled here for easier reference. For these researchers specifically, we list their entry conditions, housing help available jobs which are also, or opportunities which are also being offered by our partners, Euraccess member partners, then information about where they can find their embassies and consulates in Hungary, and information on the recognition of diplomas and other services, specifically including travel arrangements. So all this in 2 languages, in English and Ukrainian. So this is some kind of specific help available if you are coming from Ukraine. Now, few more things about the Hungarian portal that we think is important to know. It's a fully bilingual portal. All the content is available in English and in Hungarian. Obviously, our viewers today will be mostly interested in the English content, but just for you to know that the 2 language versions are not fully the same, because obviously there are more or different priorities for incoming and outgoing researchers. We try to assess what is interesting for our visitors abroad and our researchers in Hungary wanting to go abroad, and we try to tailor our content to this. But what is available in both languages in an extended format is information for institutions, information about career development and career centers available in Hungary, typically at universities, for example, the essential information items that I've listed in the previous slides, and the network members, because Euraccess Hungary is a network which has mostly university members, and they are the ones that are able to offer local help to those researchers that are arriving to their own institution. Also worth checking out the up-to-date news and events at the bottom of the page, because these are also being kept and refreshed. And just to say a few more words about the Euraccess network in Hungary, the coordinating institution is Zoltán Research Center, as I said, my own institution, and you can find a short description of what we do in terms of coordination at the websites that I put here. The network members are the following Hungarian universities, because obviously they are receiving a large number of researchers, but we also have the Secretariat of the Hungarian Academy of Sciences, and they are the ones who will know most about the ERC grants that Janka also spoke about, because they host the ERC NCP of Hungary. We have the Association of Hungarian Women in Science, mostly engaged in career development activities and science communication activities. And very important, we have Tempus Public Foundation, the organization which is administering a large number of scholarships and opportunities, funding for outgoing as well as incoming researchers. So this is the institution hosting my colleague who will be speaking about funding opportunities. But you will find all the details and actual contacts at the Euraccess Hungary page if you go to the Hungary network menu item, which is highlighted also at the bottom of the page. Well, at the end of my presentation, I would like to highlight our online availabilities and addresses. First, I listed the European Euraccess page and the Facebook page, but then I also have here on this last slide the Hungarian Euraccess web address web address, and our Facebook page, and also our own email availability that I also have here in the last line. With this, I thank you very much for your attention, and I will be also expecting your questions if there are any at a later point. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you. You offered great insights into basic features of higher education and research landscape in Hungary. And now I would like to introduce our second speaker from Hungary, Réka Pálóci, who is a program officer at Higher Education Cooperation Programs Unit at Tempus Public Foundation, who will tell us more about the funding opportunities. So, Réka, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much. I will share my presentation with you. I hope everything can be seen.
We see it.
Okay, thank you very much. I will continue the opportunities from Hungary with a very specific scholarship, which is called bilateral state scholarships. And I will talk about opportunities for PhD students and researchers who are coming to Hungary. I'll try to, yes, okay. Bilateral state scholarships are based on two different types of agreements. We can so one country can have a bilateral agreement with Hungary, or we have a so-called pool system. I will talk about it later. But we have a lot of countries from where you can come to Hungary as a PhD student or academic staff or researcher. We have a lot of different types of scholarships, and one of them is a study visit, which is specifically for PhD students or researchers. For this, you can apply from any field of science, any language, and the duration can be from 3 days up until 6 months. You can apply as a postgraduate with a master's degree, or a postdoctoral with a doctoral degree, of course. We have allowances for scholarship holders. We pay, of course, monthly stipend. We provide accommodation, contribution, and health insurance. The application for this type of scholarship is fully online. We have a website called the scholarship.edu, which is all information can be found on our website, and the application period starts around November. So this year, November, the application opens for the next academic year, for the 2025-2026 academic year, and the expected, it's not punctual deadline, but the expected deadline for this next academic year is probably 2026, 20th of February. And the implementation of these kind of scholarships is usually from 1st of September to the 31st of August. Yes, sorry. So I talked about application in two ways, which can be based on a bilateral agreement with a country, and it is usually based on nomination, sorry. So these countries are usually partners with TPF, and you can come in from these countries as a nominated applicant. And you can also apply individually, and you can see the list of the partner countries on our website, and you can see which way you can apply for this kind of scholarship. And for the end, I would just like to point out the important websites, and so you can find our call for applications on our bilateral state scholarship website, on the TPF website. You can also have it in English, of course, for incoming students or researchers. You can find all informations online, and if you have would like to contact us directly, you can write to this bilateral email contact. And I'm also waiting for your questions. Thank you very much for your attention.